All right then, forward to the past. Now, let's start slowly, from the beginning. Earth forms 4.5 billion years ago. Then, life appears but remains microscopic for 3 billion years. In this time spiral, only the last turn interests us. That leads to our time. Let's consider this as a 12-hour clock. 540 million years ago, at 2 o'clock, the primary era begins. Life grows and evolves in every environment. At 7:30, the secondary era, or the Mesozoic, begins. It is the age of reptiles.
Including the famous dinosaurs.
Yes, as well as flying and marine reptiles. The next and last era, the Cenozoic, is the age of mammals. On this clock, Homo sapiens, our minuscule species, appears just 8 seconds before 12. The Mesozoic takes place between the two major ecological crises that led to the extinction of many species on Earth, the largest at 7:30, and the last right there at 10 to 11. That one caused the extinction of the dinosaurs and large marine reptiles.
But how did it start?
Well, first, you'll need a microscope. Life on Earth starts in the water as bacteria 3.5 billion years ago. Slowly, this microlife evolves. Then, 650 million years ago, life becomes visible to the naked eye, soft-bodied organisms. The following 400 million years bring with them an explosion of life. New morphological forms appear, reaching considerable sizes. And finally, amphibians follow fish with feet to conquer terra firma. 300 million years ago, the first reptiles appear on land. And in the sky, the wingspan of some insects reaches over 3 feet. By the end of the Paleozoic, the land and the seas are bursting with life. It is the golden age for biodiversity. But this period ends with gigantic cataclysms, which exterminate up to 95% of the species. The largest extinction of all time.
95% of the species? But that's enormous. Nothing much must have remained after that.
You're right, my dear. And most of the world's great predators have disappeared. But life persists, and in the seas, many fish and mollusks remain.
What about the marine reptiles?
Their reign begins now. 3 different groups, one after the other, will rule the world's oceans. First, the ichthyosaurs, that use their tails to swim.
Like a fish?
Much like a fish. And then the plesiosaurs, that use their 4 paddle-like limbs to fly through the water. And next, the mosasaurs, that use an undulating movement similar to a snake.
And these animals ruled the seas for 180 million years, throughout all 3 Mesozoic periods, Triassic, Jurassic, and Cretaceous. From the early Triassic period onwards, ichthyosaurs are the kings of the seas. During this time, above the water, all the continents on Earth are joined together in a single mass of land, a supercontinent called Pangaea, off to the Pangaean coast.
Switzerland?
Yes. At this time, most of Europe is underwater, a shallow and warm sea. In the Middle Triassic, it's hot and dry on land with little to eat. In the sea, life flourishes again. Several reptile species have returned to the marine environment, thriving on the plentiful food supply. The Tanystropheus hold a world record. In proportion to their bodies, they have the longest necks ever recorded. With his flat teeth, this placodont mostly eats seashells and mollusks.
Aren't those turtles?
Not at all, but they too have developed a tough armor to keep them relatively safe from the great predators of the Triassic, like the nothosaur. Over 13 feet long. Very dangerous, and an excellent swimmer. But it has no chance of catching up with a Mixosaurus.
It looks like a dolphin.
Except it's a reptile. Like marine mammals today, it too must come to the surface to breathe. It belongs to the large group of ichthyosaurs, which will rule the seas for some 150 million years.
That one doesn't seem quite big enough to rule anything.
There are also some very large ichthyosaurs, some measuring up to 75 feet long and weighing 50 tons, like the Shawnosaurus, the biggest of them all.
Wow.
Like all ichthyosaurs, it lives in groups and mainly eats mollusks and small fish.
Like dolphins and whales.
That's right. They are even born in a similar manner.
What do you mean?
Well, let's hear from an expert, the paleontologist Ryosuke Motani. He has just finished studying some very fine specimens from a famous fossil site in Germany.
Many ichthyosaur fossils have been found at Holzmaden with their bones intact, and even with the imprint of the skin on the rock, which helped us to know the position of their fins. Some ichthyosaur fossils are so well preserved that we can actually see fetuses inside the mother's bodies, and some even being born. Unable to get out of the water to lay their eggs like other reptiles, ichthyosaurs gave birth in the water. The babies came out tail first, like dolphins today. Another one of the ichthyosaur's characteristics are its huge eyes, protected by donut-shaped bones, able to withstand extreme water pressure. A Jurassic ichthyosaur, the Ophthalmosaurus, stands out in the animal kingdom as having the largest eyes in proportion to its body. With these enormous eyes, it could make out its prey in the darkness of great depths.
Strangely enough, the ichthyosaurs became extinct in the middle of the Cretaceous, despite their amazing adaptation to sea life.